Hey guys, it's Julie again. Welcome to my new video. I have been a Pilates instructor for 8 years and a studio owner going into my 4th year, and I wanted to discuss with my instructors out there who are newer about the differences between teaching group classes versus private sessions. So hopefully if you've enjoyed this video, as you continue, you can let me know down in the comments, maybe subscribe if you want to see more, and of course ask me any questions that you would like to. Let's get into it. Group classes are a great opportunity to network with clients in your area, as well as experience different bodies. So most places, unless you're in a very hyper-focused area, like a college town or a senior living area, you might experience kind of the same clientele. But in most cases, you might experience a variety of clients. So clients between early 20s up until early 70s, maybe even past that, depending on the studio's location. But group classes let you see a bunch of variety in the bodies that you are teaching, as well as learning over time with a little effort on how to give modifications. Modifications are great not only for clients who are experiencing injuries, has certain aches and pains, but also gives you an opportunity to teach classes in a variety of ways, so that maybe you're working up to a challenging exercise and giving them the prep exercises beforehand. Group classes are also a great opportunity to learn how to speak to different people in very different ways. So sometimes we're saying supine when we're teaching another instructor, but then also we may say lay on your back instead if you're teaching clients. So those are what I mean in regards to different ways of talking to people. And of course, depending on your training, maybe they told you how to describe certain things in different ways. So I tend to give people more visual cues so that they get an idea of what we're doing. One of the main ones that we learned in my training, because of the teacher who used that particular cueing a lot with her clients, is think of a pearl necklace being laid down as you do your roll down with the roll-up bar. So that's one of those ones that you can kind of see in your head, laying down one pearl at a time, going down as you lay onto your back. But a client, not everybody knows what a pearl necklace is. So you want to use a different way of wording to get that for the client. Some of us may say, use a C shape in your head as you try to lengthen it down into the mat. Some of us may focus on the anatomy parts of the body as they go down. And others will use more focus, maybe on their breathing, maybe on how they're feeling, and maybe even the clothes that they're wearing. So those are nice ways to consider in your group classes, because these give you a lot more opportunity to learn how to teach different people, different bodies, and different age groups. In regards to private sessions, one of the nice things with teaching private sessions is you really get to know one person, one body, and one kind of modification for somebody as you keep teaching them. So say you have somebody who's coming after surgery, maybe even if it was 5-10 years ago, and that person may be limited in certain ranges of motion because that was the abilities of the time with that medical device. As you continue to work with that particular client, you'll learn how to regress, so move back in the stages of Pilates, or move forward in the stages of Pilates, getting them to advance over time. This gives you opportunity to learn different bodies, maybe even the diagnoses that happen with these people, and then consider that in your little bank of knowledge for the next time that you see other clients that have the same issue. Seeing these private clients for a long period of time will give you opportunities to also learn what they can and cannot do. And then that also gives you opportunities to change things in different ways through stages of movement. Maybe you're doing an arm series on the box. Maybe in the future they're doing arm series standing. Maybe even going into some of these crazy movements on the Cadillac. And all focusing on the different movements of the shoulder blades and the strength in the back with the abdominals and so on and so forth. So those are kind of ways that I like about private sessions, is that it gives you opportunity to learn about clients, particular diagnosis, maybe modifications, and even just how to progress or regress over time. This gives you opportunities as well to transition this into your group classes if you are also teaching group classes. So that way you can keep these modifications in mind when you are teaching a group class that may have 1 or 2 people with certain needs that they are aware of. So that way you can give them some different ideas on how to modify their movements while they're in class. You might be one of those teachers who likes taking notes for their client sessions. So as you continue to teach these people, you might even be able to look back at your notes and see how the progress is happening via your notes, as well as what your spring weight is. So maybe something to keep in mind when you're teaching your private sessions. Now, for those of you who are on the path of what I've done, which is go into a hyper-focused field, it may even give you the opportunity to have your own database of movements and exercises for yourself and your clients. So that way, when you are training them, and maybe over time, you give them some home exercises and so on and so forth. So that way, even when they're traveling, they may have some options while they're away. And that way, you even become more hyper-focused with them, even when they're not at the studio, which means you may even be able to charge more if you're using more software programs and giving them more options than what a typical studio would be giving them. So keep these things in mind when you're teaching private sessions versus group classes. See how you go as a teacher. And maybe, of course, it changes over time. Don't worry about that because that's normal and it happens. Take these experiences with you as you keep going through life as a teacher, as a person, and maybe you'll see how the differences is for yourself as well as the clients that you are seeing. Hopefully this addresses some of the things about being private or group instructor. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Maybe like the video or dislike even. And then if you've liked any of the videos that we've seen before or going to see, you can subscribe and be updated about future videos with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.